This is a story all about how I accidentally bought 3 venomous snakes. Let me tell you how. Now you might be wondering, how do you buy any snake accidentally, let alone 3? That's impressively done. I'm an impressive guy. Now these 3 beautiful babies are Plains Hognose snakes, and I love them. This is Hildy, Ember, and Soul. I'm Ren, and you're watching Northman Serpents. This video, just gonna have Ember hang out with me. Soul's in shed, and it can be kind of stressful for them to all kind of be on top of each other, so I'm gonna have Ember hang out with us tonight. Real quick, before I get into the video, I want to say thank you to all of you who subscribed, because last week we hit 100 subs, which is kind of crazy. I think technically, like, time on YouTube versus subs, we are growing faster than Mr. Beast when he started, so basically this channel is better than Mr. Beast is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, not sorry. If you are not already subbed, please do, because I'm gonna be doing a special 100 sub video. I was going to this week, but just so happens that Modi, Bjorn, Soul, maybe somebody else, they all went in the shed at the same time, so you know, they're being difficult. So thank you so much for the support. It means the world. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the story. So to tell this story, we're gonna have to go back to the day of the expo. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. It's kind of going crazy right now, so by far my best video yet. But after the expo, I came home, hanging out with Vidar, just admiring him, the retic that I got at the expo. And you know, some people when they're bored, they scroll Instagram, scroll Facebook. I scroll Morph Market. Don't judge me, it is what it is. But I'm kind of window shopping, kind of aggressively window shopping. And for a while now, I've been wanting to breed Hognoses. I fell in love with them at Northwest Terraria. My buddy Hunter, who actually put on the expo, he breeds hogs. I was never really into them, thought they were kind of overhyped. And then he handed me a girl that looked almost exactly like her, but all grown up. And man, these are some of the cutest snakes in the world. They will nuzzle into your hand. They're just adorable. How could you not love that? They got a ton of morphs, like ball pythons. I want to create some beautiful snakes. Not as like a career, or I'm not trying to get rich. I just want to create some cool stuff for somebody that just really wants to take one of these home and love it and give it all the care it needs. So I'm looking at trios. I'm looking at, you know, 2 females and a male. Something to start out, something I can raise up, and you know, I'll acquire the breeding stuff as I go, and by the time they're ready to breed, I'll be all set and everything will go smooth. But considering that I just bought a retic, that's not happening right now. So I'm just looking at the auctions and come across Gatsby Reptiles, and they got a few sets of 3 Hognoses, 2 females and a male in each one, and I'm intrigued. I'm like extreme window shopping. I'm like as hard window shopping as you possibly could. I'm dang near like door shopping, because I'm thinking I don't want to miss this. It's like $100 and something right now for for 3 snakes, and they're pretty much everything I need to pretty much make my maiden voyage into breeding. So now I'm to the point where I like clicked the box to up the bid, but like I'm not gonna hit place bid. I can't justify it right now, the money. So I've got Vidar around my neck. I got a 1-year-old that's daddy juice, whatever. I got all this going on. I'm distracted and I come back a few minutes later, pull my phone out, and it says, "Congratulations, Ren, you won the bid on the trio from Gatsby Reptiles." I'm like, what are you talking about? And I look, and sure enough, I had won the bid. And it wasn't even for the trio that I thought I was window shopping. So now I'm wrestling with, man, do I message this guy and say, hey, that was a mistake? But I'm a man of honor, you know? I messed up, and I gotta live with it. This guy went through the trouble of putting this auction up. I'm not gonna make him go through that all over again. So I say, okay, here's my FedEx store. He asks if he can ship them out Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's do it. And I go get some Sterilite tubs and some water bowls and hides, and now I have to text my fiance and tell her what I did. Luckily, she said it's okay. I know you've been wanting to breed these for a while. So Tuesday comes and I go down to FedEx, and the FedEx people always like to see what I get. So I open it right there in the store, and stacked up are 3 deli cups with the 3 babies in them. And they are spicy, like spicy. I'd say Soul is probably the spiciest, and then the Hildy was right there with them. And like, you cannot tell them that they are not cobras. Like, they are hooding up, bluff striking, hissing, striking at the side of the deli cup, just going mad. And if you know me, I love those. Like, that's why I love bull snakes. I love the spicy ones. The process of taming them down is my favorite part. So that's why I got retics and bull snakes, and I love it. And now you see, like, just tame as can be. Can y'all quit being cats, man? But yeah, besides their spiciness, they've been awesome from the start. Eating great, which is usually a concern for hogs. And we'll get into that in a second when I kind of tell you a little bit about them as a species. But Hildy, actually, the wild type, is the only one that we kind of had some problems with. But she's eating fine too now. So I decided that I was maybe gonna sell 1 or 2 of them, keep the boy, because I really like condas, so I kind of want conda in almost everything I'm doing. So I was gonna keep him because he's the conda, and maybe sell 1 or 2 of the girls. But if you know me, I like my wild types, so I couldn't sell Hildy. I'm like, man, she looks like a little rattlesnake. I love her, you know? And as soon as I got home with them, my fiance says, that one's mine. And her name's Ember. And I said, okay, well, that's all my options for selling. So it looks like we got 3 hogs. That's also why she's the only one without a Norse name. If you don't know, I am Norwegian, Danish, Swedish, and Icelandic. That's where the Northman serpents comes from and why they all have Norse names. I was a little concerned about eating Plains hognoses. Although they are better than the other hognose species, they are amphibian eaters in the wild. They like frogs. They can be a little difficult to get eating rodents. Hildy seems to be the only one that had a little bit of an issue, and like I said, she is good now. Sometimes you'll have to scent the rodents with either frog or sometimes you can use tuna. They're just so cute. I just love everything about them. They're so great. So excited. There's lots of different subspecies of hognose. You got easterns, which caught a lot of those in the wild. Not a lot, but I caught some of those in the wild. Plains, they're pretty much the middle of the country, so they're like Minnesota, Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure, Illinois, all the way down, and also up into Canada. I'm not sure why they don't get over here, because pretty much everywhere they're found has kind of the same climate, so if anybody knows why that is, let me know in the comments. But they are burrowers. That's what that prominent shovel is for, is to help them dig. Soul, actually, you rarely see him above ground. Just underground all day. Yeah, you have other subspecies like Mexican hognoses, you got easterns, even Madagascar hognose. It's a giant hognose. They all, to some degree, have that shovel on the front, and easterns are actually known a little bit more for their defensive tactics, which is kind of hilarious. They will play dead. They will roll over so dramatically, put their tongue out, and even if you flip them back over, they'll just be like, no, I'm dead, I told you. So they will musk all over themselves, and they'll just writhe around. Really Oscar winning performance. I've never seen them do it. If you do see them do it, I would maybe consider adjusting whatever you're doing, because they really only do it when they're terrified. But in my experience, easterns have a lot more of an impressive hood. They also are a little more ready to play dead. They're also much more difficult to keep in captivity. They, for some reason, they just have a lot harder time adjusting to rodents. They want to stick with that amphibian diet, so hoping someday we can get easterns to do better in captivity, because in my opinion they're like the ultimate hognose. Their colors are insane. They're extremely beautiful. Bigger hood. They're awesome snakes. So ooh, that is prime example right there. These guys are not pythons. They have a harder time holding on to you, so you really got to support them when you're holding them. I do want to get into the venom. As you can see from the title, that wasn't clickbait. These are venomous snakes. They're not rattlesnake venomous. They're what's called rear fang venomous. It's just what it sounds like. Their fangs are actually in the back of their mouth. They don't have these hypodermic needle fangs. They're not able to inject it. What they do is they chew on whatever they are envenomating. In their saliva, they will essentially drool into the open wound they just created. They have what's called a Duvernois gland. Duvernois, I believe. The Duvernois gland. And it is a gland that produces venom that they will basically deposit into you through the wound they create from biting you. So they are pretty harmless usually, but a lot of people say it's like a bee sting, and it is really, in the sense of you're usually going to be fine unless you have a reaction to it. I've seen some doozies as far as reactions go. If you go on Reddit and type in hognose bite, you will see some. They are essentially harmless as long as you don't let them chew on you. If you ever do get bit, no big deal. What you can do is actually push up on that prominent rostral scale. Put your thumb on their shovel, and you're just gonna peel it up, and they should let go. No big deal. If you let them chew on you for any amount of time, you know, you're probably gonna be fine, but there's a chance that you have a reaction. And I'm not aware of any fatalities, but I am aware of quite a few ER visits. I know someone personally that his whole hand swelled up like the hamburger helper glove. Like, it was not a fun time. Like, you will know if you have a reaction. So, but ultimately, these guys are great. They're awesome. I'd even recommend them as a beginner if you get one that's fully established on rodents. If you're not intimidated by their little bluff strikes. If you live in North America, you're in their territory. It's like, say with bull snakes, being in the Pacific Northwest, I could keep them in a cardboard box probably and they would survive. You know, they, minus needing a little bit of heat to digest, they could pretty much probably live free roaming in your house, and as long as you fed them and they had water, they're as easy as it gets as far as care, honestly. There's a reason that I'm choosing these to breed. I adore them. I love them a lot. I'm not gonna do any large scale breeding because they are kind of getting a little ball python-y. There's a lot of them. They're readily available for sure. I'm excited for the genes. They are all at least het for albino, xanthic, lavender, albino, xanthic, lavender. Give me a second, let me go. This is actually the cup that she came in. So yeah, they're all het, at least het for albino, xanthic, lavender. Soul is a conda, and he's the male. So the clutch is gonna be cool. There is a possibility for xanthics, lavenders, albinos, obviously some normals, some wild types, and any combination of those plus conda. So they're gonna be some cool babies. There's gonna be some that look like them. There's gonna be some that look nothing like them, and all the options are beautiful to me, so I am excited. Yeah, with that being said, I think that's gonna do it. I'm sorry that I couldn't get the super special 100 subscriber video out, but that will be coming up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, like, and in the comments, let me know, do you have a hognose? Are you thinking about getting a hognose? Have you ever been bit by one? If you've ever been bit by a hognose and you got a good story, throw that in the comments for sure. But whenever these fools over here get out of shed, I will have a 100 subscriber video coming up. And yeah, we're working on 500 now. I'm excited because when we hit 500, that's when I can apply for the partner program. Then and only then will I consider myself a true YouTuber. So get those big $100 a month checks rolling in. So yeah, it'll be cool. So yeah, we're on the road to 500. And thank you all so much for your support, for being here. Ember's gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed. Be good to your animals. Be good to each other. I will see y'all in the next one.